Guys, we are in the last week of Heresy Act 1, and we've got the weekly reset for the 4th of March. This week will be an interesting one. Moments of Triumph for the year is dropping, so there's some additional rewards there. On top of that, today we get a reveal stream for Act 2 of Heresy, so we'll finally get to see what some of that content will be, as well as new rewards, and a timeline for some of the drops that we'll get for the rest of the episode, so we'll be covering that. Otherwise, we'll round up some of the activity content and key rewards for this reset, changes to be aware of, as well as the Eververse inventory, vendor rotations, and a handful of activity featured rewards and things like that. So if you guys find the video today useful, a rating really does help us out on the channel. Get subscribed as well so I can keep you posted with the upcoming Heresy and expansion content later on this year. Otherwise though, now let's get into it. And so the first thing to mention is that we're now in the final week of Act 1 of Heresy. If you want to get anything wrapped up before Act 2 drops next week on the 11th of March, this is the time to do it. Also today, a little while after reset, we will get a reveal stream from Bungie for Act 2 content, so that'll be happening at 10 AM Pacific. I'll link Bungie's Twitch channel down below, and additionally, we'll round up all of the key details from that reveal today here on the channel in a couple of hours' time, so keep it locked and loaded for that. Otherwise, also keep in mind that Moments of Triumph for 2024-25 has dropped this week, so this contains all of the challenges for the final shape year. There's a new title, as well as a couple of exotic drops and cosmetics, Bungie rewards, and a handful of things like that, so be sure to check the title tab for the new Moments seal, and there we'll be able to make progress for the year. Moving into the game for the week, we have the pop-up for Moments of Triumph right here. Be sure to check that out. And otherwise, as we fly into the tower, may as well check out the Eververse inventory for the week. So, as always, we will focus on Bright Dust stuff. Firstly, on the front page, we have the Disc Jockey exotic emote up for 3,250 Bright Dust. That one is just not... Oh, there it is. It's previewing now. It didn't want to start automatically. That one's been in the game for a little while, of course. Otherwise, we've got exotic armor ornaments right here. For the Titan, at least, we've got the Curious of the Fallen Star ornament, the Rising Star. These will be up for 1,500 Bright Dust this week, so maybe some ones to grab if you've missed them previously. That one from Revenant, of course. Also on the front page, though, we have the Up in Smoke Transmat effect. These cost 450 Bright Dust. We'll preview that for a second time. And for the front page shaders, we've got the Princely Presents up for grabs initially for 300 Bright Dust from back in Season of the Wish, I believe, right here. Quite a nice one. Otherwise, there is also the Royal Protector from back in Echoes available in the store this week. Let us know if you plan to grab any of those. But moving over to the main Bright Dust section, right here, we've got the Threatening Stance exotic emote, which is up for 3,250 Bright Dust this week. So there's the preview of that one. Pretty cool stuff. Additionally, the Disallowed banner is up as well for 700 Bright Dust this week. And then as we move on, we've got the Hardlight Shell exotic ghost for 2,850 Bright Dust. On top of that, the Exosporangian, if I'm saying that correctly, I had to read it, I'll be entirely honest. This one's up for 2,000 Bright Dust this week. Certainly a very curious looking thing indeed. Then we have the Dig Site exotic sparrow, which is 2,500 Bright Dust this week as well. So we'll preview the trail on that one, dropping from back in Witch Queen. Then we've got the Early Warning ornament for Forerunner, which is another one from back in Revenant. This is up for 1,250 Bright Dust this week. Pretty cool one with a sort of Dreaming City theme. And then there is the Clue Projection, Ghost Projection here for 1,500 Bright Dust. These things are still ludicrously expensive. Nonetheless, for the second page of shaders, we've got First Light up for grabs initially. Once again, they're all 300 Bright Dust. There is also the Coppertone Patina. Some of these, many of them, in fact, have been featured many times in the store. Then we've got Nectar Dynamo, which is certainly a classic shader right there. And very finally, the Seven Sisters up for grabs this week. So let us know if you plan to grab any of those. Otherwise, we've got the Traveler's Wake effects Transmat effect right here for 450 Bright Dust. They'll all have the same cost. There's also Vex Invasion effects. Of course, that one's been around for a very long time. And finally, the Shadow Legion entrance is up for grabs as well this week. So let us know if you plan to pick anything up from the Eververse store. Next up though, the Moment of Truth. I know there was a lot of anticipation. Would we finally get the Lotus Eater as the featured Nightfall this weapon? As we can see though, unfortunately, Plug 1 Adept and the standard version, of course, will actually be the Nightfall weapon this week for the second week of Grandmasters. So looks like we're going to have to hold out at least a little while longer before they give us that Lotus Eater. Man, Bungie baiting us in. They're going to make us wait for it. Kind of sad about it. Give us your thoughts below. We'll do the quick check-in at Bungie right here though. For the moment, featured weapons, we've got Nox Perennial with Loose Change and Kickstart, might be alright. Nesser Whisper is up as well with Compulsive Reloader and Adaptive Munitions. Then the Threaded Needle, which is Killing Wind and Dragonfly. 7th Seraph Saw, which has Clown Cartridge, Elemental Capacitor. Then there is the Bad Omens, which has got Tracking and Cluster Bombs. And finally, Hollow Denial, the Trace Rifle of course, with Lead from Gold and Swashbuckler. So grab any of those if you want them, because the weapons and rolls will change throughout the week. Our final mention for now though, is a quick visit to Shader 1 down here in the Annex. For armor, we've got the Noble Constant type, or the old class sets from Vanilla Destiny 2 up for grabs this week if you want to add them to collections. But for shaders, there is Dark Omolon up for grabs initially. These are 10,000 Glimmer. We also have Kairos Black from the Curse of Osiris right here. And very finally, Dead Orbit Vision, which isn't the most common faction shader to show up. So grab any of those if you want to this reset. Final reward mentions for this week though. The exotic mission for the reset is Presage, so Dead Man's Tale is available once again, on top of all of its upgrades if you need to get any of them. But additionally, for featured raids, we should have Last Wish, which can of course drop its legendary loot and the 1000 voices. Plus there is Vow of Disciple, where we can get the Collective Obligation. And while these are featured, there should be no loot lockouts, so you can farm away for chances at any of the drops. Additionally though, for dungeons, we've got Duality, where we can get the Heart Shadow, and Shattered Throne will be featured this week as well. The last mention for this video though is for Lost Sectors, for any folks going after world drops, or indeed chances at exotic engrams on solo clears. Today, we have the Blooming Deep in the Pale Heart featured, then it will be Bunker E15 for the 5th of March, Perdition on March 6th, and Val's Labyrinth for the 7th of March, which will be followed by Exodus Garden 2A on the 8th, Ophelion's Rest on the 9th, and finally, Chamber of Starlight will be featured on Monday the 10th of March. After that, of course, we'll be heading into Act 2, so for today, that's what we have to speak about, but please keep it locked and loaded here on the channel, get subscribed, and I can keep you up to date with everything related to the game. Also, let us know in the comment section if you're jumping in to get anything done this reset. Plus, a rating below really does help us out if you've enjoyed the video as well. But otherwise, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.